Have you been able to get any of this information back over the mountains?
They don't let us. We have no way of communicating.
They don't let you? What do you mean? They don't let you cross the mountains, or they don't let any information out of the mountains?
We are not pardoned. The moment that we are left off by the driver at the bottom of the mountain, we are once again prisoners on death row, at least anyone who isn't a volunteer.
Fair enough. How about a letter? Pigeon? Anything like that?
We don't have animals here. Unlike
That's actually a good point. My apologies. And she kind of gets this idea, and she reaches into her pocket. I actually have something that might work if you have someone that's a bit better at magic than I am. And she's going to pull out the sending stone.
As you put your hand in your pocket, it's not there.
No.
She looks a bit confused and she goes into the other pocket. Did I put it in there? Oh?
Nope.
No.
As you try and search your pockets a little bit, from the corner of the room, you can hear Jessica. You do know this one is fake, right?
She kind of turns and whips her head towards Jessica. Is she holding my stone?
Yes.
I knew it.
She has this I'm gonna fucking kill this bitch expression on under the mask, but you can't say it. Give that back.
Well, I don't have use for anything that doesn't work in the first place.
It works, I just have to figure out how.
And she throws the stone back. It would work if it were real.
Oh, God, that's the second person. Why do you people keep saying it's not real? Why would I have it if it wasn't real?
That depends on who gave it to you. But I can tell you they made very sure that it seemed real. This magic takes a while to apply.
She kind of looks between Jessica and the stone, and then she looks over at Memphis.
He's just sort of looking at the stone, and slightly at Jessica, trying to sort of avoid 13's eye contact. He seriously doesn't want to say "I told you so." He's strictly against that.
She looks down back at the stone. She looks like she's thinking very hard. Clearly the two brain cells are rubbing together at max speed. And then she finally looks over at Jessica and just goes, "How long?"
To be permanent, about a month.
Ooh.
Every day for 30 days.
And
That's
her
dedication.
heart just kind of falls, and she looks back down at the stone. And for a moment, she just thinks, was I actually tricked? Did she actually lie to me? I've been lied to.
Everyone around, during this entire conversation, you can very much clearly tell that 13 is more and more signed out a little bit. After that statement specifically, she seems to freeze up for a significant amount of time.
Memphis is going to stay right beside her, almost touching, almost brushing shoulders, but I just want to be there for the baby.
No one else does anything. Henry will look over at Jessica and just say, well, at least we found it was fake before we used it. Well, let's see how they take it.
Not fucking well.
Alexander snaps his fingers in front of their Fertie's face.
You get no reaction.
You in there? Are you alive? Did you die?
You get absolutely no reaction from 13 for a little bit. In the meantime,
Hi.
13,
Oh no.
as for the first time since your oath, you have started to doubt your mistress.
Oh no.
Within but a mere moment, your mind is whisked away, and you stand in what seems to be complete black area. You can still make out that there's a floor, and in the next moment in front of you appears a large marble. It's a marble barrister.
Ooh,
And
that's spooky.
you immediately notice you cannot move. And there is two beings on the other side of the barrister as you stand as essentially the person in focus in front of it. The person to you that is sitting at what from your side would be the left portion of the barrister is a man dressed in a black suit, perfectly pristine white shirt, and a red tie, black hair, and black eyes.
Like, are the entire eyes black or just like the iris?
The entire eyes are
Ooh.
black.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
That's
no. No.
spooky.
Okay.
Spooky.
On the other end of the barrister, a woman completely dressed in what would essentially be a Greek white toga.
Okay.
Pretty pale skin, but not unhealthily pale.
Okay.
And a white blindfold.
Oh, hello, Justice.
White hair. You immediately recognize these two as the man dressed in black as Lucifer, the god of deals.
Oh, okay.
Also
God of deals?
occasionally
Hi.
known as the devil. Person, as you said, is the goddess of justice, or sometimes called
Hey.
Lady of Justice, Lucille. And for a moment, there is silence. As then the god of deals, as Lucifer looks up. It's a little bit difficult to tell with Lucille, but she's also facing your direction, and you can feel her gaze onto you, despite
Ugh.
the blindfold.
Ugh. I don't like it.
And Lucifer pulls up a piece of paper. This seems to be old parchment, very old parchment that something seems to be written on. And with a voice that most definitely has done this 1,000 times and will do it 1,000 times more. Enya of the House of Juriga.
Huh?
Paladin, Oath of Blood. You swore to Calypso Juriga. I must protect the Juriga family with my life, even if it means my death. I will place my unyielding trust in the Juriga family and will never doubt them. I will follow any order given to me by Calypso Juriga, no matter the context. You did so willingly and of your own volition. Is that correct?
What is going on? What did you call me?
The Lucifer will squint his eyes, look back at the document. Oh, you go by 13 nowadays. Apologies. This is a trial of your oath. Please confirm your oath.
Yes, I took that oath nearly 7 or 8 years ago.
Did you do so of your own will?
Yes, of course.
Alright, then the oath itself is valid. And he puts down that parchment, looks at you, looks at Justice, at Lucille.
Why am I here? Where is here exactly?
This is the Trial of the Oaths. I said that before. This place is not a particular place. You are here because against your oath, your trust in Calypso Juriga failed. You doubted them.
I didn't I didn't mean to doubt her. She gave me a false stone. She tricked me. That's
Either way, if you meant to or not, is irrelevant. You doubted her. And he once again looks at Justice. Justice just says, he is right. Please confirm whether or not you doubted the person you took the oath to.
She gave me a false stone. Anyone would be at least a little doubtful if they were handed a sending stone, told it was real, and tried to use it for 3 days.
The reason does not matter. The act itself is what matters. And Lucifer again looks at Lucille. That is correct. That is the agreement of oaths and pacts of paladins, warlocks, and any other deals. It is divine law. Lucifer nods. Thank you. With that, you broke a tenet of your own oath, a blood oath you took to Calypso Juriga. As such, your oath is broken and is revoked through divine law itself.
Wait a minute, there's not even a warning, it's just revoked. I didn't even mean to do it, I didn't mean to doubt her, I would never doubt her.
Again, whether or not you meant to is irrelevant. And with that, you can begin to feel your blood start boiling. You cannot move, so you cannot collapse. But over the course of the next few seconds, you can it almost feels like your blood is ripped through your own skin. Red energy exits your body. You can very clearly tell that this is essentially the blood oath itself being torn from your soul. As both Lucifer and Lucille say at the same time, henceforth, after breaking your oath that you took out of your own free will, you shall be known as an Oathbreaker. And as you do so, as your oath itself leaves you, the small drop of blood that you got from Calypso Juriga herself during taking it leaves you as well. And your previously pristine silver and red armor turns to almost fully black. There's still the red inlays reminding you of what your old oath was. But over the course of that oath being ripped from you, the rest turns black. And after that oath got taken, it goes towards Lucifer specifically, not Lucille. Now, you are released. And just as quickly as you arrived, your mind is back. You can freely move. The pain itself, while it is not actively there, you can still very much feel it almost.
Probably as well as a pretty heaping helping of grief, too. I mean, that's just pretty fucking painful. the second that she can actually move again, her knees buckle and she hits the dirt. Just body's gone. She knees buckle, she hits the dirt. I was still holding on to the stone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the stone drops from her hand, knees buckle, hits the dirt, and she screams in a mixture of both physical agony and grief.
Whoa!
And for everyone else, the armor did turn black as well.
Whoa, what the? Oh shit!
Memphis will go down with her and just hover his hands around her shoulders, being not wanting to touch yet, but yeah, baby.
Yeah, her entire worldview is kind of shattered at the moment, and she's
Yeah.
shaking, and she doesn't keep screaming. She only screamed once, but she's hyperventilating and sobbing and just breaking down in the middle of some rando's office.
Oh.
Memphis will maneuver in front of her and actually take her by the shoulders. It's like, dear, darling, I need you to breathe, please. And, like, shake her shoulders slightly, and when that doesn't work, like, take a hand and cup it around the like side of the head, back of the head sort of area. And I need you to breathe, okay? Just breathe with me. You can cry all you want. Just breathe, okay? And he'll exaggerate his breath.
Exaggerate.
Exaggerate his breath. And yeah, so just try his best to comfort her or keep her conscious at this point.
Jessica kind of looks at Henry. Did I break her? What the fuck?
My God.
Did I break
Very
it?
confident act of control, like, oh.
Yeah.
For a moment, she doesn't, like, realize that you're there, and when you first touch her, she, like, flinches violently. But after a bit, after you're, like, trying to get her to breathe with you, her eyes kind of focus a little bit on you, and she starts trying to mimic your breath. She's trying to take in deep breaths, but it's her breathing is doing that thing when you're crying so hard that you just can't control it.
Yeah.
And it sounds almost like a stuttering plane engine.
He's just gonna fully take her into his arms, even though he's smaller than her. He doesn't care. He just takes her into his arms and just sort of holds her close to him and just sort of mutters, it's like, it's going to be okay. We've got you. We're going to take care of it. We're going to get you through this. Sort of stroke her back, keeping one hand on neck area.
She,
Her fucking armor turned black.
for a moment, she doesn't move, but then once you start, like, gently stroking the back of her hair, she wraps both arms around you and clings like a baby koala.
As you go up, you can't notice this immediately yourself, 13, but everyone else sees the mask is a bit cracked.
I don't see it.
You can't see through it, but you can see a crack going alongside of it.
Whoa. Powerful lungs on you. The mask.
She's ignoring you right now.
Mom's kind of like, not like hits, but kind of like gives a little rough nudge at Alexander. It's like a silent way of shush. And then Moss is gonna glance over at Jessica. That's her name.
Yes.
He's gonna glance over at Jessica and just kind of discreetly say, "I think you should leave now."
Jessica just looks at you. A little bit of that, like, confidence goes back. And she
And
wants to, like, go to a retort, but then looks at 13. Yeah. Well, I have more stuff to do. Toodaloo. Walks out the door.
God, he's glaring at her back.
As all that's happening, 13 is starting to calm down just a little bit. She's still shaking and clearly very fucked up. But she just kind of whispers to Memphis, Oathbreaker. I'm an Oathbreaker.
Memphis just sighs slightly, like realizing some part of it, at least, I think, maybe.
You can do me a religion check to see how much you know about it. Anyone that is listening to it can.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a
16.
16. It's not a common thing, but you know of stories of paladins that have broken their oath in the past for whatever reasons. Like, these are sometimes reasons of, oh, a king turned evil and the paladin serving him, like, broke their oath to the king and became oathbreakers to take the king down and that kind of stuff. But when a paladin breaks their oath, it is often a change even to a physical sense. In this case, it would be 13's armor. But their oath gets removed through divine forces.
Oh shit, yeah.
They're usually marked as evil, but again, these stories are known for having a variety of reasons.
So he'll
Alexander
just
winces.
hold her, and his grip kind of tightens ever so slightly. And he just, we'll figure it out. Even Oathbreakers can do good. It's not a bad thing. I mean, I went against what I said I would do. Or what I thought I wanted to do. We'll get through this together. Okay?
She'll never look at me again. I failed.
You didn't fail. From what I saw, the oath must have been very, very specific because you did nothing wrong here.
I doubted her. I said I would never doubt her, and I did.
He just holds her that much tighter. Doubt is healthy. Being afraid is healthy. Fear keeps you alive. It's unnatural not to have doubt. It's going to be okay. We'll get through this.
Not as shakily breathing anymore, but her physical body is still definitely shaking. But she doesn't say anything.
Would you like to go rest somewhere? Can't have been pleasant. You don't need to answer, you can just nod.
She kind of pulls away from you for a second, and she reaches up under the mask, and then she kind of feels that there's a crack in it. And she reaches behind her head, and she grabs at the straps. And she pulls the mask off, and for the first time you're actually able to see her face, and I don't know how else to describe her other than to show her. She still has that poofy hair, like it's that never changed, but she has a clearly a nose that's been broken many times. She's got those pale gray eyes, and she's some bushy but not like unkempt eyebrows, and the most notable part about her face is she's got these 2 long claw marks down the side of the left hand of her face. She's not really looking at anyone else, but she's staring at the mask, and that there's a crack in it. And it's one of those things that's like, ah, yeah, my entire world is kind of ruined. Oh, look, there's one of my comfort objects. Broken. And she's just staring at it for a second, like, what the fuck do I do?
Memphis will try his best not to look at her face immediately. Just sort of looking at the mask instead. And just... I can give you something else to wear? Maybe?
13 kind of shakes her head a little bit. No.
And he'll look up at her and see. It's just a baby.
From her actual face, she's actually not that old. She only looks to be in about her early 20s. So, yeah, baby.
And he'll just sort of very incredibly gently tuck a bit of hair out of her face and just like whisper, "Oh, you're just a pup." And I want to say he sort of very gently takes her by the sides of the head and touches foreheads. And just sharing that moment. I'll take care of you.
For a moment, she's very stiff, and she's not exactly sure how to react, but after a while, she kind of just gives in, and she leans a little bit more into the forehead press. It's just like, what else do I have at this point? Like, I literally have nothing else to lose.
And he'll place his hand on one of hers, on the mask. Just quietly, let's get you somewhere more quiet and less mission-based.